What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Monroe Martin Podcast. I am your lovely host, Monroe fucking Martin. Shit, I shouldn't curse up top because now I'm not going to get monetized.
First 10 minutes.
Yeah.
First 10 minutes.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. But
It's just
we
probably a
gonna see.
myth.
You know how much booty shaking and fight videos pop up on my YouTube? So,
Well, that's because you look for them. And the algorithm feeds you what you like.
I do too.
But these things got plenty of hits, though.
The algorithms are enablers. They
Yeah.
just sit there and they just want to keep throwing stuff that you want. And you want, booty shaking and fist fights.
Yeah.
In the same video.
I like a good booty shaking and a motherfucker get knocked out right afterwards.
You look like you watch those Jamaican videos. I forget what it's called, but those
The
Jamaican
dance hall
videos,
shit?
where they be like slamming girls, where it's just like half WWF,
Yeah.
I watch
half
those
dance
for
hall.
moves and shit.
I love those, man.
I love those. Yo, people, the voices and the faces that you are seeing right now is the podcast On the Gate featuring Derek Drescher and Gio Perez. Give them a round of applause. Make some goddamn noise. Make sure you check out all their shit. Do you want to plug anything?
Yeah.
Jump back in.
Listen to the podcast. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to the Patreon. We
On
got
the
a
Gate
Patreon. On the Gate
Podcast.
Podcast. If you're ever in New York, come to our show, 23-1 Comedy. At the Stand, you can get tickets at thestandnyc.com or just DM us, and we'll get you in there.
And I've been to their show. I've done the show. It's a fun show. So make sure you go out. And make sure you fucking like, share, and subscribe. And join my Patreon, all right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Follow me
but-
on Instagram, Gio Perez 86. Yo, let me ask you guys a question, right?
What up?
Because my name is spelled Giovanny, right? That's my government name. I'm not,
Okay.
You got to remember his parents are immigrants, so they don't know how to spell properly.
No, that's how you spell it. It might the N might be like instead of a Y instead of an I.
Yeah.
Like, I guess the traditional Italian way, it's an I at the end.
It's Giovanni. Giovanni.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
never
it's
seen
only
it with a
one.
Y.
Yeah, or two N's.
But a lot of Hispanic
I've seen it
people-
with two N's.
I usually see a G.
I always see two N's.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Two N's and an I. That's
Yeah.
what most Italian people told me. Be like, yo, you spelled your name wrong. It's with an I at the end.
You're like, I didn't spell my name wrong. My mother spelled my name
Twice.
The doctor did this shit.
She
It
spelled
was
my name wrong twice.
It was Giovanni at first,
Yeah,
right?
it was spelled
Giovanni yogurt.
Yobani. No, Yobany.
Giovanni.
Giovanni.
Because no, but it's not yo. You don't pronounce it.
It's Giovanni.
Giovanni.
And
Giovanni.
in Italian is Giovanni.
All jokes aside, I mean,
Giovanni.
I feel like I know I poke fun at you about it all the time, but it's actually a very ethnic thing. That's how they hear it. That's how they say it. You know, so why not spell it like that?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But what was you about to ask?
Oh, all right. So now, I spelled it phonetically when I started doing comedy.
Right.
I'm gonna be Geo Perez doing this show.
Oh, shit.
But people
Really?
But people, when they say they go to look for me on Instagram, they're like, oh, I couldn't find you. Like, I've seen people, like, I met them again, and they're like, yo, I try to look for you on Instagram.
Oh, you're shadow banned.
No. They're searching Gio,
Oh.
which is what most, in my mind, I think people would look at it as Gio.
Well, you.
I don't know why.
No, it's Gio. That's Gio to me.
I always just thought it was GEO, like Geo.
Gio dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, but some people look for me as Gio.
Oh.
And
Them
even when
niggas
I
trying to
order
be
food-
fancy.
Yeah, that shit might could be like Japanese.
No, because-
G-I-O.
GIO.
Even when I order food in
Yeah.
most spots and I'll be like, oh, Gio. I
Yeah.
don't know why I don't say Giovanni, but I say Gio.
Yeah.
And they always spell it Gio.
Right.
I've never seen that.
I know
I've
people
only
named
gone
Gio. It's Gio.
Yeah.
Just Gio, not
Yeah.
Giovanni, just
yeah, that's
Gio.
what I'm saying, Gio, yeah. But I know I've seen it. There's an artist, his name, he's Dominican, is Geovanny.
Oh, wow.
And
That
then
shit's
there's-
hood.
There's
Yeah.
one where there's two L's. You know how
Yeah.
you say the two L's could be Joe?
Yeah. What?
Llovany.
I will probably get that fancy when I have a kid. Just give him an interesting life. You wouldn't do that? Well, you got kids.
Well, I made up my daughter's name.
Yeah?
I made it up.
You don't got to tell us on the podcast.
That's
it
what
is,
these
but
people do, though. They make up all their names.
Why wouldn't you? You made it. Why the fuck would I
saw my buddy
create a
name-
baby and then name it some regular shit just to make everybody else feel better about themselves?
I don't mean what's
Fuck
what.
that.
I just saw my buddy name his daughter after something he saw in a liquor bottle one night. He was like, yo, this shit is fire. I'm going to name my daughter that. And he did.
But you want to be named after like 30 other people? Like,
Right.
for example, right? They'll be like Derek. There's a lot of Dereks in comedy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what Derek you talking about?
White
Derek Drescher?
or
Black Derek, yeah.
Derek Drescher or the funny Derek? And it'd just be like, And he's like, no, the funny one, the black one.
I know. I'm Black Derek. I'm Black Derek.
The light-skinned Derek.
Yesterday I said he was black because
Yeah.
he bought a shirt to match his hat just for that day.
Just for the day, yeah. Yesterday. Yeah. I bought that purple shirt to go with the green Yankee hat and Vans, yeah.
But
She looked fresh.
you Jewish and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Ain't shit black in there.
15% Puerto Rican.
Oh, there's some Afro-Latino in my family. I don't think I got any of it, but it's there.
He's like, yeah, it's about 16 generations back, but you know.
You know, when we owned the owned the ships and shit.
Yeah,
you
one of
know.
my
Well, I got cousins that look like you.
great uncles.
I know. People always say that, and them cousins are never around.
Yeah, no, they're in Puerto Rico.
They disowned him.
There's fucking double entendre there, right? They
Disowned him, owned him.
But it never fails. People go, "Oh, my aunt is dark as you," and I'm like, "Oh, y'all close?" Nah, we don't really fuck with each other.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Like when I was young, and this is when I knew I was like, yeah, I'm racist.
When you was young.
I had cousins that are dark as you, and we'll be at family. We're all playing. I'm like, this is my first cousin.
And a
Most
race fight breaks out.
Most of us, no, we all got along. We were all having fun. It was never, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, how is he my cousin when he's that dark? Because most of us were light skinned.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of us, like my grandfather, from my mother's side, is like white European Hispanic.
Yeah,
That was my
yeah.
grandmother. They both have like
So
nice hair,
everybody
freckles.
loves her. Everybody.
What do you mean? No, but there's
Meaning
a
like
lot
she's
of
the favorite. Usually in the Hispanic culture,
Oh.
they
The lighter,
love
yeah.
The lighter, the better.
That is very true. Or
She
even
got
when
light
you,
eyes, probably, right?
Well, not my mother's side. My father's side, they all got light eyes. But my father's side, there's a lot darker because my grandmother, you could look at her and you could tell she has a Taino Indian in her.
yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
my grandmother also too, high cheekbones.
Yeah.
Like I was like, why does she have a hot comb? I'm like,
Yeah.
why isn't that
Like, what's
black
that
people?
for? Yeah.
I saw that in Crooklyn. Why are you
Yeah,
using
he's
that,
like, what the
grandma?
fuck? What is that? A dude? You got a nigga over here?
Yo,
Like, where? Yeah, he left his hot comb out.
yo, grandma's cheating on grandpa.
Oh no, that's for the horses.
Living in Philly, it was just Puerto Ricans and Mexicans, and
A lot of Puerto Ricans in Philly, right?
yeah, a lot of Puerto Ricans. They don't really speak Spanish.
No, yeah, Puerto Ricans mostly we don't speak
Yeah,
Spanish.
they say nigga a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not me.
not you.
How do you feel about that being from Philly?
You know, I don't know. I really never.
Because you grew up around it, right?
I grew up around
Yeah.
it. It didn't really stand out until I moved to New York. Right when I moved to New York,
And it was every
then
other word.
It was
Because it said so aggressively.
It said so aggressively,
Yeah.
but I remember being on the train and then hearing like, "Nigga, who are you looking at, nigga? Who you talking to, nigga?" And
Yeah.
looking, and there's just a bunch of Asian kids
Hey.
that all sound
When
like Pop
Puerto
Smoke.
Rican kids-
they all talk like Pop Smoke.
When they get angry and they're saying that shit, you see them videos on the train. You're like,
Yeah.
that's a little bite to it.
Yeah.
They got the cornrows that can't
Yeah.
stay in because their hair's too thin and shit.
straight and shit.
They got to
All
keep the
fuzzy,
do-rag on.
fuzzy ass cornrows,
French braids.
or the two. You know,
What's up, my chicka?
Yeah,
Dude, it caught me off guard. And then I seen two Indian dudes like fighting, like older Indian dudes fighting over a parking spot, and they were just throwing that shit out.
Yeah.
They were just like, "Go back to your country, nigga." Like just two like,
Indian.
Yeah, because I live in
yeah, but
Queens,
one
and
was
they were just
Sikh probably, and the
two
other one was something else. It's probably from
Probably something else.
God
but-
damn, nigga, the fuck is wrong with you, my
Yo,
friend?
they were going in, and I was just watching like
probably
they.
from Warren tribes.
Yeah, I think nigga is the most popular curse word.
For real?
Yeah, because
would
every
say
culture
fuck.
say that. Fuck.
Yeah, because more people
Fuck.
can say it.
Nah,
Not everybody can say the N-word.
Not everybody can say it, but everybody still does say it.
He's right.
N-word is the holy grail of curse words.
He's right.
Because
No,
only
people
some
still
people
say
can
it.
obtain it, and there's some power behind it. There's some
But
power
some
behind
people
that word.
just say it without even knowing the pot. They don't. When I watch those two Indian dudes sit there and go, "Fuck you, nigga," and all that shit,
Yeah.
they weren't being racist. They were just trying to find the most hurtful shit to say to each other.
Ah, right.
Yeah, hurtful and let them know that like I
Yeah.
mean business.
I mean,
like
They were saying
yeah.
as a term of endearment.
Yeah, they weren't like, "What's up, nigga?" No, they were like fighting over this spot. Like, "Fuck you, nigga, go back to your country."
One of the last programs I was in, I said it. I got into an argument with it was with a black dude. I
Yeah.
said it. Yeah, I said it with the A, and I got
You got to keep your hat on so my viewers can. Because you take the hat off, they were like, "He's white."
I do look more ethnic with the hat on.
Yeah, the hat on. You look like you look more Puerto Rican. You look like Fat Joe. Like you're a part of the whole crew.
They hit the computer. They're like searching the sex offenders.
Yeah.
Around, like, let's see if we can find this guy.
Well, the thing is that like I did grow up saying it.
Yeah.
I hung out with Puerto Ricans
Where
and
you from?
blacks, Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
And I grew up saying it, and then but when I said it that time,
Yeah.
I like knew. I was like,
Thumbs up.
I was like, I shouldn't have said it. I was still wanted to beat the shit out of the guy.
Yeah.
It was like we were living in a program for it was like a last chance. Like either you're gonna get it right or we're gonna send you back to jail. That's the kind of program it was. So we all had like certain parts of the house we held down. I was at a group home for adults. It was like a 3/4 house almost.
Yeah.
And he was the laundry guy. Right, so you would drop your laundry bag off to him,
Yeah.
and then he would do your laundry. And I was like on the working phase, so I would do my laundry at different times than everybody else. But one day I went down there to do it, and he was like, "No, this is my job. I'm doing it." And I was like, "Nah, you ain't fucking doing my laundry. I do my own laundry. No man's folding my clothes. I do it myself."
Sniffing your drawers and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, he was a weirdo, man. He was definitely. I could tell he was a weirdo.
He's like finding shit stains in the back and in the front.
I say that, but you know, looking back at it now, he probably.
How you got shit stains in the front?
I got cum in all my socks. You ain't touched none of this
You
shit.
got cum and shit on your dick.
Why are your
What
socks
are
so
you
hard?
doing,
And he's like this,
Derek?
cling, 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 cling. But looking back at it now, though, seriously, looking back at it as a man with like, you know, with a level head, which isn't always all the time for me.
How old were you though?
I was in my 30s.
Oh
I
shit!
was like fucking 34 years
like
old.
For adults, I'm thinking at least like 25 or some shit.
Yeah, well, the age range in that place from people who were in their early 20s to like 60s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just, you know, a bunch of dudes who were in trouble with the law.
Yeah, what'd they say when you said it?
So, you know, everybody came down, and it was mostly you know, ethnic folks in the program. It was like me and I think one other dude who, you know, had the same complexion as me.
White guys. You say white guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with being
Why,
ambiguous.
I'm proud of what I am.
Yeah.
That's that. So anyway, I said it. They broke it up. And then, you know, I had to get disciplined.
Yeah.
So the assistant director called me up, you know, and he's a black guy.
Yeah,
They put a dunk tag. Hold him and put him in the corner.
Well, they do shit like that. You sit separate from everybody when they call putting you on
Derek
LE.
put two holes in it and put it down on his face.
Yeah.
wear this hood.
He made it work.
Yo, you sick fuck. How do you think
He's like, how'd you put a dunk tag into a fucking clan hood?
Oh shit! This come on. So I go up. So right and now, but then that was the first time in my life I'm like, people are gonna think I'm racist,
Yeah.
and I'm not, and I don't want to be.
Well, you
seen
said
as that.
nigga.
Yeah.
I think nigga excludes you from racism. It's just more of ignorance and being like, what? Like,
What?
you too comfortable. Nigger is definitely
Right.
racist.
What I said was, I was like, yo, you want to fight? And he was like, I'll fight you. And I was like, I'm gonna whoop your ass and you're gonna call the cops on me just like the last did. That's what I said. And
I think the difference is putting a U in front of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Then it's like,
Good.
The last, and was the last in the room? Was the last nigga in the room?
No.
me? Talking about me?
So-
the black guy?
I have friends in there, right? You know, who are black, and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with you?" Like, "Yo, you get a pass on that one this time." So then I go up to get disciplined, and he's like telling me, he's like, "You know, you were aggressive, you threatened violence, you did this." He's knocking it all down. He's like, "I'm gonna put you on learning experience for 2 weeks."
Yeah.
And you know, you're not gonna get any passes. You're not gonna be able to go see your kid, all that stuff. And I'm like, all right. And I'm just like, you know, I didn't. What I said, I didn't mean it like that. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you know, I said the N-word. He was like, oh man, I wasn't even worried about that. He's like, I definitely know you're not racist.
Yeah.
He didn't counsel me on that at all. But I was like, damn, you know, I just should not say it.
I think it's more of like growing up, I can look back and I go, anytime someone's ever said the N-word around me, it's definitely my fault.
Because you say it a lot.
Because I say it a lot, and I made them comfortable, and then I'm the one that's saying it.
You know,
I'm like,
I don't
shut
think
up,
you
nigga.
could
What's
take
up,
that
nigga?
onus on you though.
You have to. though.
That is kind of right. It is black people's fault that everybody uses the N-word.
Yeah, we made it. We made it so cool
Y'all destigmatized the word.
We destigmatized it. We made it so cool because we were just trying to take the sting out, and now everybody like, can I get on? Can I say that shit?
Yeah.
Can I get on the cruise ship?
And we call it, like, I'm not saying black people, but just young. I would say young black people because I feel like older black dudes don't really say it. And mixed company. Like, I know a lot of older black comics who won't say nigga
In front of the whites.
in front of the whites, or at least call a white dude a nigga. Like, they won't be like, nigga, shut up.
Oh, I saw a racist. There was a racist moment in the green room the other night.
Was I there?
No, it was me again. No, I'm joking.
You're going to get canceled, man.
Go ahead, say it.
No, it was,
was it? You don't gotta say
they were
it.
talking about tennis. Now I won't say that
You were talking about
comic's
tennis.
name.
Tennis. There's
They were
only
talking
like
about-
4 people.
Yeah.
Hey, we know who
About
plays tennis out there.
I think it was just,
I know.
It wasn't. I don't know if they were talking about them playing tennis, but
Yeah.
they were talking about tennis.
Okay.
And they were
Somebody
like,
said it-
did they say they were like, black shouldn't play?
No.
Something like that.
Somebody said
niggas are ruining the game.
close
They're
to
hot
They're
tops,
too fast.
close too fast. They always celebrating every hit.
Yeah.
Every damn hit.
Break dance.
We're trying to take over this one now.
Pop locker with the racket. He's doing tricky shit.
Why is he throwing the tennis ball in his shirt and swinging it around, dropping it?
Why is he moonwalking? What the fuck
He's
is
doing
going
a fucking crossover. Like,
One love.
What happened?
Yeah, so he goes like something about the net, and then the another white comic is like, what, to catch the blacks? And there was a black comic sitting right behind him, and he didn't realize it.
yeah.
And then like everybody's like, Jesus, and then suppose he was like hitting her up the next day, like kept apologizing. Hey, I was just joking, and I didn't mean it.
It was a female black woman?
Well, I'm not saying gender.
Well, you said her already.
Yeah.
Well, gender's a construct. I messed up.
That would scare me to my to my core.
What?
Because it's just different with women, man.
Misgendering?
Not misgendering, no.
Miss Racy.
Like the last person, the last kind of person I want to get on their bad side is a black woman.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't want to.
Absolutely.
It goes black women, Spanish women,
Yeah.
and then whatever after that I can handle, no problem.
And that comic definitely got on the bad side of that.
Yeah, that's bad.
But what was the
Black.
context of like catching him with the net? Was
He's
he
wanted to
just trying
catch
do
black
that?
people with the net
He
during the
just heard
tennis game.
net, and then they said, "What's the net for? To catch black people? To catch the blacks? What are you going to use the net to catch the blacks?" That's all I
In
heard.
tennis.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's kind of dumb.
I wasn't paying
It's just
attention.
stupid. It's more of a stupid joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
It
tell
didn't make
you.
no sense.
I'll tell you out of context because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, I was just in the green.
As soon as he heard something racist, his ears
Yeah.
went boop, 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 boop,
No,
boop,
no,
boop.
because honestly, I don't even remember that. They reminded me the next, I saw the comic again. She
Yeah.
reminded me what
She was like,
was
"Can
said.
you
And she's like,
believe?"
"Can you believe?" I was like, "Wait, believe what?" I was like, "I don't even
Yeah, he
remember."
said catch the blacks with the net.
Yeah, she's like, "You don't remember that racist shit?" I was like, "I hear racist shit all the time," and I'm like, "That's just."
You're
in
like,
my
I say
head."
racist
Yeah.
shit all the
and I'm like, "That's just in my
I
head."
heard some of the racist shit he said. I've encouraged.
Yes, I was like, "Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember something crazy was said where everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, Jesus, guy, tone
Yeah.
it down." And
I mean, that ain't that
You
bad
realize-
though. We've all
Yeah.
been in this business for a while enough to see
yeah,
other sides of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that part ain't like, can you believe it? Like it ain't
Yeah.
enough for me to be like, oh, you still hanging on to this shit? That was yesterday.
yeah.
I'm glad you
That
said
ain't,
that.
yeah, it ain't enough to linger
No,
to the
because
I
next.
hang
he
on to
lingers.
shit, yeah.
He
Hang
lingers.
on?
He lingers.
Yeah, I don't let.
I used to, and I don't let that shit go, nigga. Meditation.
I'm better than I was.
Forgive, man.
Right?
Jesus.
I'm better than I was. But I don't like to let shit slide.
Yeah, I feel you, but you got to learn what to let slide.
Because even back in the day when I was living on the wrong side
Yeah.
of the law, like if someone like screwed me over, did something, I would.
First off,
revenge is a dish best
Yeah.
served cold. I will wait weeks, months, a year before like you tap me, I'm gonna tap you back.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that way anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like there's
I'm the same way, but I'll let you finish.
I feel like if someone like crosses you or like, makes a transgression, disrespects you, right? If I don't handle it in that moment, but then I address it maybe the next day or a couple weeks later and say, hey, listen, I felt disrespected when you did that. Don't do it to me no more, right? Some people say even doing that is like, nah, you just got to let it go. But I feel like I got better in my life because I was realized that you don't get rewarded for bad behavior.
Yeah.
And when you act in a way that is not good or not respectful, that you don't get rewarded and that you're punished for it.
Yeah.
And punished might be a strong word, but you're either reprimanded or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I feel like I gotta it's hard for me to want. I'm not like a Buddhist. I'm not striving to fucking reach nirvana or none of that shit.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to just walk through life like that.
It's a learned behavior because I was the same way where I just hold on to shit. And then Dave Temple pointed out something.
Yeah, he's the most fucking...
He was just like, a lot of people say shit and they just say it frivolously and they say it in passing. Sometimes they just say things because it's just what they're feeling now. And if you approach them with it, they won't even remember. Like some people are just talking out of their ass for most of their lives. And especially comics, we're always just running our mouths and looking for the laughs, and sometimes we just don't filter shit.
Yeah.
So once I kind of was able to be like, that is true, because sometimes I've said shit that I'm like, oh nigga, I don't even know why I said it. I just said it to say it. So once I was able to be like, oh, that's a possibility, I'm able to let shit go.
Right.
But if you feel disrespected, like you feel like somebody's truly disrespecting you, that's not a bad way to handle it. They'd be like, yo, let's not have that happen again.
I have, and this is only picked back up like in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Like I was actually very, like my first few years in sobriety, I was very militant on like being like no violence, no aggression, no none of that stuff. Because back in the day, if something like that happened, you punch, slap somebody, and then you get into a fight. That's it. And then hopefully someone pulls one of you off the other one. It's not even about winning at that point. I mean, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I would be lying if I said the thoughts don't go through my mind. But they're intrusive. I wish they didn't happen anymore. But even like what happened the other day, I felt like I had to handle a situation. I still feel like I did it too aggressively. When I was like, yo, you were talking shit the other day, now I'm letting you know it was bullshit.
Well, based on how I was playing with you,
I'm not talking about that. That's not.
I was like, you probably did come in hot.
No.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah. I was.
What you say?
No, I was joking. I was joking around
Barry
for that.
gets mad and says, "Nah, I was just joking around."
No, I was.
Yo, I'm like, nobody. Your ears don't turn red and your neck don't turn red because you're joking.
No, you weren't disrespectful at all that evening.
Yeah.
If anything, I was mad at you for you saying it before I got to say it. I wanted to go
But
and
I
tell
didn't say
everybody.
he said it.
Yeah, I knew he did though.
I wasn't gonna say he said it.
Yeah, I know, but I knew he did. Come on, man. I didn't come down. I didn't come down in yesterday's rain.
Why are you telling everybody that I told everybody?
The worst part about that
telling
was
everybody
I didn't give any. I didn't say anything about. I just stuck up for my friend, but we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we can if we want to.
No, I don't want to get into it. I don't want that's none of my business, yo. But here's the thing which I'm starting to realize, is like age goes out the window in comedy, right? Because everybody is kind of reborn in this business.
I'm a 5-year-old.
Yeah, you are, and you can see people's attitude kind of build around that too. Like people have youthfulness and all of that shit, even if they're in their 40s, because they're like just like college for people. So they feel like those rules don't apply, which they don't.
Right.
If you slap somebody, it's a high chance that somebody's going to try to sue you. Like, it isn't one of those businesses.
And you're not going to work as much.
Yeah, it's like one of those. This is a business where, like, having some restraint works for you in the long run than the short run. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I've definitely snapped on people and shit, and it's never worked out in my favor.
It backfires on you.
It backfires, but also later down the line, the story changes, and then it's just a new fucking
He
narrative
grabbed
to
me
it.
and put me up against the wall.
So it's just best you don't do that, and then just really just surround yourself with people who you fuck with and that fuck with you, and y'all got the same fucking goals.
Yeah.
Like Bobby Kelly told me this in passing. He was just like, the industry is who you surround yourself with.
Right.
And that makes so much sense. Where I'm like, oh yeah, that does make sense. If you surround yourself with niggas who disrespect you and all that shit, you're gonna have a miserable time and shit. But if you just go toward, Derek says it a lot. Me and Derek say, if you just walk towards the light, like even when you want to slap somebody in the face, you're just like, I'm gonna just walk in the light, fucking just focus on what I can handle and all that shit, and just let people move over to the side. Don't personalize none of this shit.
Yeah, he said he always says it, man. You got to keep it silly, man.
Yeah.
Always joke. It's always just keep it joking.
Yeah, because some of these people, they don't got nothing else going on. They probably don't believe in themselves or their goals and shit like that. So, you know, they probably just want to get a rise out of people just so people are talking about them, especially in this business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The thing is, I look at, because you came up in the system yourself. Is like,
Man.
I've had so much drama already, and when I was young, it wasn't like nothing I could really do about it. You're young, that shit's all outside things that are happening around you that end up affecting you. I would just love some peace, but I got to look at the part as like I am also the one who disrupts my peace now.
Yeah, you got the piece though, because we was talking out there. Well, I'm like, man, this is the best fucking job to have. When you were telling me, oh, I got another job, and you told me what it was, I'm like, nigga, that's not no job. 'Cause we got the best job. We just do this shit and tell jokes, and people will try to throw you off your game because they can't live like this. And I'm talking about comics too, because that's who we argue with.
Who's that?
Oh,
Mike
that's
DeStefano.
Mike DeStefano.
Stefano.
Oh shit.
Sorry for people who can't look and see what we're pointing at off screen.
Sorry,
it's a
I
big
fucked up. Yeah.
picture of Mike DeStefano.
Yeah.
He was a great comic, and he was loved by the Stand, and he's the logo of the Stand. And then there was a picture up.
Big inspiration for me.
Do you have any personal experiences with him and stuff like that? You ever?
No, never. When I moved here, I met him at Comics Comedy Club. And he was just in and out. He was getting it. You know when you can tell when a comic is like something. I hate to be like, oh, they're fucking about to blow up, because that about to blow up shit takes years.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can just tell when somebody taps into what the fuck they're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
And that's what I saw when I moved here, and I started getting passed up places, and I would hang out and I would see him around. I'm like, this motherfucker about to, like, he's on to something.
He's about his business.
Yeah, it was just, he come in, he would speak to the comics he knew, but when he hit that stage, it was fucking
murder.
And then he just leaves. He wouldn't even fucking wallow in it. He wouldn't even bask in what the fuck he just did. He would just on to the next spot. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, he's on to something.
For people that don't know, he struggled with addiction for most of his life. He was a heroin addict, you know what I mean? And then
some of the best comedians
Yeah.
come from that type of fucking.
and he got clean.
Thank you,
Yeah.
man. Thank you.
I appreciate that so
Appreciate
much,
noticing.
Monroe. Thank you.
Yeah, man. No,
Yeah.
we got
And
that.
then, and then it was funny. Is like after he did Last Comic Standing and all that stuff, it was like he knew. I don't know if he could tell something was going on with his health. But that like he was like, yo, I got to get this done now. I got to do this one man show. I got to get this stuff out.
Bronx in the Cherry Tree. Cherry Tree in the Bronx.
Cherry Tree in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bronx.
Yep.
That's dope.
Giannis Papas was telling me a story. He said he was there when he did the last one.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting off to the side smoking a cigarette, like by himself after the show. And Giannis went up to him and he was like, "You everything all right?" And he said, Mike was just like, "I said everything I got to say." And he passed away within a week.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's some deep shit, right?
That gave me chills.
Yeah.
That was, goddamn.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
now
knew
he's
it,
immortalized.
but now that makes sense on why I'm saying he tapped into something, and I can just see he was on. And usually that thing is that sense of urgency. You know what I mean? If we all think of our mortality as like, not as a time, a fucking like time clock or whatever, but we just think of it as a thing of just like, all right, I'm here for a reason, and I'm just supposed to fucking lean into what I'm supposed to do and do it, and then whatever happens.
Yeah.
Right? But like most people don't, I don't know.
I feel like
Most people don't,
living-
see their they look at their mortality and they're afraid to die.
Right.
versus live. Like he probably was like, because he was sick, right? He
had HIV. But
had
I heard,
HIV, so
Yeah.
you get that shit. And
well, the thing is, I feel like the life he lived, he was so close to death so many times.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if you like could feel it coming.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, even though I know that's like magic shit.
What you mean magic shit?
Well, just like when you experience something, like when you OD, you die sometimes. They bring you back to life, you know what I mean? Or you get really sick. Yeah, like you can feel, like you might be able to feel something coming. I know that sounds a little fucking not that
I can
ish.
feel it in the air.
But like, you ever talk to people,
Get
right?
Biggie's Beanie Siegel.
Beanie.
I can feel it in it. Go ahead.
But I talk to some people that just like outside of comedy and shit.
Yeah.
And then like usually it'll be like girls sometimes, and they'll be like, like they almost hate their life because what I see is they don't have a purpose, right? You know, they're at a dead end job. They're like, oh, I'm 30, you know, I'm 38. I work here. I'm single, and you know, and like it's hard for me to try to be like, yo, you got to find something. Just keep looking. Because like it took me, I was like 31 when I found comedy, and I had that before. I had that for all my 20s. I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I'm just a drug addict at this point, and I just kept falling.
Not even a dealer anymore, an addict. Now you're an addict.
I couldn't even get my money up because as soon as I got some traction, I fucking relapsed and I fucked my money up. So I couldn't even, I was just a shitty drug dealer.
Self-sabotage.
Yep. So I'm like, I had no purpose. And I was just like, you know, almost got suicidal. I lost everything. And then literally just me just going with the flow and leaving New York for a little bit, I found comedy. And then it's just like, now I have a purpose. Like I found something, I'm like, you said, it made sense to me. And then I've just been nonstop ever since. Like no breaks. Even during COVID, it was Zoom. Once Zoom was fucking played out for me, we went out to the streets, rooftops.
Illegal shows.
All day. I took 2 months break.
Spreading COVID in this bitch.
We were super spread. And I didn't get COVID once.
Now, we had 6 illegal shows before anybody got sick. So we were following protocol.
6 shows. I went, we was going months.
I'm talking the indoor. The indoor.
Yeah. No, but I did an indoor show the August of 2020. Like this is when nobody, like.
I did a show with you. Was that it? The joint in Long Island?
No, remember he was supposed to do the Owl with us, and that guy was a dickhead to you when you came in the door, and you were like, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yeah. I'm like, man.
I threatened him later that evening.
Oh, he didn't have to do that. But it was just like, why are you being an asshole?
With the mic stand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had this dude, he had a rooftop in Williamsburg, and it was raining that day. And I already had mad people coming out, had mad tickets sold, and then I had it was Napoleon Emile, Matty Smith, Matthew Brazard, and then my boy Terry Thomas.
That's a good lineup. That's a seller lineup right there.
And as soon as I called everybody, I was like, yo, we're going indoors. Everybody's like, cool. Maddie's like, no, I'm out.
She said,
she's like, I'm out.
Damn.
It's indoors,
she's skinny though, so.
I was just about to say the same shit.
COVID ain't got to move much.
COVID, if you're skinny, COVID again.
I should have get trapped in the big ass coats. Right. But like she drops out, people show up, and like end up like I think like 20 comics show up. I end up just throwing everybody up.
Okay.
And people were just so desperate to leave their house that nobody even cared. It was a fucking great show. Basement, low ceilings. And I like that's literally in my mind. I was thinking like a drug dealer. I'm like, if there's a drought, I'm gonna eat right now because there's nobody around, and you're gonna stick out more. You know what I mean? When there's only like 50 comics on the scene. Yeah. Yep. And then if you're the first one through the breach, you know what I mean? It's a lot. Yeah. We took a lot of shit though.
Gio made a lot of enemies for himself during COVID.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you Zoom comic cowards out there. I was really.
I would just really I would shit on Zoom comics a lot.
Yo, you a Zoom comic, B?
But you was getting paid.
Zoom.
Yeah, but I mean, bro,
I wasn't doing them shits for free. Fuck out of here. I'm home already.
Yeah, but you got your feet in the game forever. You're everyone knows who you are. You could do whatever the fuck you want.
But no, that's not true.
I was more shitting on
Thanks
the
for the
comics
confidence boost, though. I appreciate it.
Flowers.
I started a Facebook group because I was like doing some of the first mics and shows. So when other people started doing it, they thought I was running. But I'm like, I'm just promoting it for them. I'm just like spreading the word. Yeah. And then everybody just started hitting me up. And I'm like, nah, I hit this person up. Yeah. And it got mad annoying. So I was like, yo, I'm going to start a group page. And then I just started inviting everybody. Yeah. And then as soon as I posted that, I posted a picture of us on the rooftop. Nobody's wearing a mask. It's like,
dude, you'd have got me in so much fucking trouble. My wife, because she works at a hospital, and when I would go to for a while, she was just like, no, you can't like just wait till shit die down. And I would like sneak out and like do these shows and whatever. But when people would post pictures of like me out with them, they'd be like, hey, yo, we got a show. And I'm just there with no mask on. And I'm like, yeah, baby, we was all wearing masks.
Sharing a joint. The guy next to you is rolling a blunt, licking the shit out of it.
Like, what the fuck? That was the thing. Like, people
passing the 40 around.
like people just couldn't let that shit just bubble on the low. People
Right,
could just be
right.
like, all right, we got a secret show going on. We having fun.
Nah,
My shit was like that. It was invite. It was invite only.
Yeah.
I remember a comic posted it once. I said, "Take that shit down right now."
I accidentally found that show.
I was like,
That's
"Yo."
how it's supposed to be, though. It's the COVID, baby.
Yeah.
I was like, "It's an invite only.
Yeah.
It's already sold out.
Yeah.
Take it down."
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dude.
Yeah, but yo, when I posted that picture, people screenshot it. This one comic, he screenshot and put on his Twitter.
Yeah.
And then mad people started reacting to it,
Like,
talking
how
shit
dare
in the
you?
comics, like you're gonna kill your grandfather for dick jokes. Who these fucking losers?
But like, you don't know my grandfather. How you know this nigga don't deserve to die?
Yeah.
How you know he's not
know?
dead already? How you
Yeah.
know I'm only one alive in my family?
Yeah.
I don't care, and I want to.
Would you consider us COVID comics?
No, because I was
you mean
around.
COVID
I was an open micer before comics.
Some people say we just rose during the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I came up.
Well,
during
that was your
COVID.
time. That was your time, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's always going to be like a new crop of comics that come out of something.
Right.
I guess when I moved to New York, the alt scene was really bubbling up.
Were you're considered an alt comic?
No, because I did both. Like,
Right.
I would just go to whatever.
You could do both. You could
Yeah,
work
I'm
both.
like, no, it was just something I learned in Philly. Like, there was a comic named Anton Schufer, and he was just like, yo, you wanted to get to the point where you can just do your material in all settings.
Yeah.
Without changing shit.
Right,
without changing the way you talk
Universal.
or anything. And then once he said that, I was like, that makes sense. And this shit is all about challenging yourself. But when I moved here, that was a scene that was thriving. Like, everybody that was getting shit was from the alt scene. They were
Yeah.
from Freak in the Cave. They were from, like,
Comics
Arlene's
you
Grove.
should know.
Yeah, they were doing all these art shows. So when that was bubbling, I would make sure I poke my head in and shit. But you got like Hannibal, you got Eric Andre, you got so
Did
many
Factory.
comics that came up through that. And now you got the COVID boom, and then the comics who came out through that who were like selling out theaters and shit.
Right.
Well, now you got the clip comics. You got the Instagram, TikTok comics.
Yeah.
You know, who kind of,
Yeah.
where they, they blew up on Instagram and now, or they had a following for years and they're like, oh, I want to dabble
Yeah.
in comedy. And it sucks, right? Like a lot of people complain, but it's almost like it's almost necessary. It's like a necessary evil, right?
Yeah.
Because these comics, all right, they suck on stage, right? But they bring in people to the clubs,
Yeah.
and it keeps the club alive to let other comics
Yeah.
who might not have a following
Yeah.
thrive and still perform.
Most importantly, it lets you know how to use that tool though.
Yeah.
I was so against like social media because I'm like, I'm a comic. Like, we're supposed, like, your fame comes in obscurity, right?
Right.
Like, the less they see you,
The more mysterious
the
you
more
are.
mysterious,
Yeah.
and then when you give them something, it's like, oh, this is the greatest
Yeah,
shit ever.
yeah,
Then you can
yeah,
go
yeah.
back into hiding and all that shit, right? But you can tell that kind of changed.
Yeah, you can't do that no more.
You can, but it's just
hard.
a longer process. But once I saw, like, I'm like, oh shit, people are really like doing the social media thing and using it to their advantage, and then you just kind of got to move with the times and go, how can I do this my way?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, how I don't want to completely abandon what I'm doing, what I enjoy, just to get attention.
Yeah.
You know. So those
Performing
comics
for the algorithm. That's what's his name said.
No,
He
you just fucking
tryna-
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you
Louis
just
did
take
say
your
that.
clips and shit. I never perform for the
Yeah, Louis.
algorithm. I'm like, I when I look at my
Not saying
when,
you're doing. A lot of people are.
When
I'm
I-
saying,
when I-
like, focus on, but I'm saying what I'm saying is yes, a lot of people are, but when I see that, I'm just going, oh, that tool works.
Yeah.
Social media works. It's
Yeah.
effective.
Right.
How can I use it to my advantage?
Right.
Because some people just do stand up just to put clips out.
Yeah, they're reaching every set. Yeah, for
every
something.
set
Yeah.
is like, who from out of town?
Yeah, you're in a
What?
relationship. Yeah, you can see the reach.
Stand
Absolutely,
together.
absolutely.
So like you've been doing it for years. Like how much material? Like if you don't, if not that's not a real question.
How much can I do?
How much
on
can you do, like-
stage?
You probably got 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of material.
How
I
much-
would
I
imagine.
wish that's a lifetime. Comfortably, I've done like an hour and 30.
Really?
30,
Damn,
right?
a long time.
So you have enough material where you're like, yo, I could throw out little clips here and there.
Yeah, but here's the thing I've learned: the way that I create my material even if I put a joke out that I'm currently doing, it ain't gonna sound the same when you come to
See it. Yeah. It's gonna evolve.
Yeah, because I wrap that shit up in a conversation.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a setup punch. It's like all right, well, this joke makes more sense here because it fits
Where
the
you're
story
gonna
that
put
I'm
it
telling it
in the set,
So that's
yeah.
the way that I kind of construct
Do the
set.
audibles.
Yeah, I was listening.
Yeah, you got it. Keeps you on your toes. It keeps your brain moving and working and shit.
Rogan even said once, he said he put 2 specials out back to back in
Yeah.
a year on Netflix, and he was like, he's so upset that he did that because he's like, those jokes,
Yeah.
I could tell them better now.
Yeah.
He's like, a joke, he's like, is really can hit its full potential after a couple years.
Yeah.
Not just, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's
what happened to Ari, right? So
Ari
he had,
Shaffir?
when he had all that material before the pandemic, right?
Yeah. Oh,
And
double
then
negative.
I don't know what it was.
no Jew. It was Jew.
The
It was
Jew.
Oh, I think
Jew.
you're talking
The
about
one that just came
the
out.
double special.
Yeah.
No. So he came out the most
Devil
recent.
No, the double. He did a double special.
Oh
called
yeah, that's on
Double
Netflix.
Negative.
Yeah, that's on
Oh,
Netflix.
okay,
yeah,
okay.
but this one, Jew, the one he just released.
Recently,
Yeah.
that was like material he had from before the pandemic,
Yeah.
right? The pandemic fucked up his taping, and then he just kept,
No, Kobe fucked up his taping.
or
Yeah.
Kobe, and then COVID.
Yeah. The Kobe thing
Yeah,
fucked
that
it up.
Kobe
yeah,
fucked
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah,
But
well,
he handled that
Because he
well,
was
though.
supposed to.
All right, 2020 fucked up.
He was supposed to do the what's that? The Skirball? What do they call that?
Skirball theater?
You're supposed to do Jew at
NYU.
Skirball,
Yeah.
Skirball, and then they had to
right.
pull it because of what happened.
So,
yeah.
so
That shit
now the
was phenomenal.
pandemic happened. That made it
Yeah.
even take longer, but he got to actually make the jokes better.
Right,
as
right,
time
right,
went
right.
on.
Yeah.
And then by the time he recorded, it was just so.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like it was ripe. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I love
That's what I'm
watching.
waiting for. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I love watching the people who've been doing it for a long time work,
Yeah.
man. Work whether they're doing good stuff, they're going up there to kill, or
Yeah.
they're working things out because you can see like, oh, this is.
Yeah.
I just learn. I learn a lot more than watching people who've been doing it the same amount of
Yeah.
time as me. Like I call it taking class. You know what I'm
Same
saying?
thing. I watch comics who I do the same thing, and the thing that I take from that is like, oh, you got to live on stage. You got to be unapologetic and unafraid to just go up there and bomb. Because some people take that bombing so personal. And it's just like, look, you're gonna get another shot tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
And if the end goal is about making shit better and like making this material fucking solid, you gotta find the holes in it. You gotta go up there. And when I get a joke that works, then I go, all right, now, man, now is the time to figure out what doesn't work.
Right.
Now I gotta figure out what situations I can't put this joke in.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
To read
Where
the
I'm like, now I'm like, all right, what's the limitations of this shit?
Yeah.
And then that's when that shit get unfunny and I'm like,
How much can I squeeze out of it?
yeah.
What kind of audiences could I do this?
Yep.
What cities and states could I say this joke in?
Well, I think the goal is to get it to be able to say, like your friend said, in front of all audiences.
Yep.
Sergio Sacone was talking to me about that one day. He was like, he's like, you got your goal. One of your goals should be to have a 15 right now. You know, being that you could say in California,
Everywhere.
Texas, motherfucking London, wherever the fuck you go.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
It's to be, you know how people be like, I can do that. When people talk about jail and prison, they be like, I can do that shit on my head. That's how I treat certain sets. Where you got to have like a 15 that you can do tomorrow. Like if somebody was like, yo, can you go up right now? You got to be able to get your mind right and be like, all right, this is the 15 that works no matter how I flip it.
Yeah, this is in the pocket.
Beginning to end, fucking if I put this shit in the middle and move this around, it works every time, every way. You do got to have it that way.
Right.
Or at least, like, not even saying, because some audiences, like, if you do a fucking senior citizen home, you ain't going to kill. So you also got to have the internal, what is that shit called? Meter or gauge to be like, all right, it's the situation, it's not me.
Right.
But how can I
Crack
do
the
this
code.
set?
Yeah, how can I get this shit over?
Yeah, how can I get the equivalent of killing in this type of audience?
Yeah.
And it's usually just them, like, when they can't, then it's usually just like, all right, I got people
I got
kinda
asked.
perk up and focus. I was able to direct all the attention to me, even if they weren't like, this nigga hilarious.
Yeah,
You know what I
they
mean?
were engaged. I got asked to do a kids brunch show.
what the fuck do kids eating brunch for?
I got
Mimosas, it's just apple cider and orange juice.
I'm like, wait.
ring dings and fucking. That's probably all health.
Brunch. That sounds planned.
So
man.
they'd be there with their parents. It's at noon. The show's at noon, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. I ain't ready for that.
Yeah, no, I don't perform for kids.
Yeah.
I say no to all them gigs, and some people be offering the bag. Where I be
Did
like,
they
this is
watch
gonna
your
be
set?
good.
It's just him. Like,
That's what I
anybody
said.
here ever do heroin?
That's why I said to homegirl, I'm like, like my material. She's like, I think she just wanted to fuck. But.
Probably wanted to fuck, but also people don't look at the material. They look at you as a comic, and if they think you're funny, then they go, "Oh, I think this person's funny. I want
He'll
to
figure
use
it
him for
out."
other stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I don't.
That's usually the thing. People aren't watching material to figure out what type of comic you are. They're just like, oh, I like this person's energy. I think it works.
I'd be like, you been to prison, kid?
Huh?
Huh? You want to go?
You want to get in the locker, motherfucker?
Take your sneakers off, motherfucker.
Yo, we gotta wrap this up, man. I want to thank y'all for coming on. Y'all gonna stick around for the Patreon?
Absolutely.
I just extended my parking. So.
Oh shit, I appreciate it, man. Look, people, thank y'all for hanging out. Make sure y'all head over to the Patreon if you want to hear more of this conversation. If not, fuck you. No, fuck you.
We're going to talk shit about... We're going to say names.
We're going to name drop on
Name
this
drop.
one. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure that you leave a comment. Fucking send us an email if you need me to answer any questions, and just keep supporting this podcast, man. I appreciate you. See you on the other side.